G'day guys, welcome back to the Rugby League Guru podcast. It is our first TLT of 2024, obviously the first week of the pre-season trials. All the team lists have just dropped. I've just gone through them all very, very quickly. I feel like I need to take a nap, to be perfectly honest with you. My God, it was an experience. Pretty much going through the NRL, reserve grade, and everything else, jersey flag to get all these names and everything. I've sort of come through with a bit of a highlights package of the guys that I think are most relevant from this team list Tuesday, and a couple of guys that I need you to keep an eye on. So my 5'8" Catmandu is going to take us through game by game, and we're going to go through and I'm going to point out a couple of things that caught my eye or that were interesting. As I said, I'm recording this at about 4:03 on Tuesday afternoon, so if I miss a couple of things, tough shit. Love you all and appreciate you. Kat, welcome to your debut TLT, the most hectic hour on the Guru calendar.
It certainly is, and I got a good taste of that hectic hour just now seeing
Fucking
you.
did you ever? Jesus.
Wow. And there was a car accident, right?
There was
right
a car accident out the front too, so
yeah,
good times.
We're just glad it wasn't Guru's car because there's much more important things to be dealing with right now.
It was closer than I would have liked to it being my car. So, yeah if my car would have got hit by a cement truck at 3:57, you all would have heard about it. A cement truck would have got hit by a Guru. So, probably the best for everyone there.
Yeah. Shall we?
Shall we?
Let's dive into game one. 7 p.m. Belmore Oval, we have Dogs versus Storm.
All right, Doggies v Storm, first game. That's going to be Thursday night, as Kat said. Standout things for me from these team lists. None of the huge names for Canterbury. Stephen Crichton not there, so Blake Taff at fullback. Hearing Blake Taff will play one, but we'll wait and see when Critter gets back. The thing that stood out for me, though, and I think it's something that you can read into a little bit, Drew Hutchinson named at 7 wouldn't mean much, except Sexton named on the bench. So whether you read into that or not, I'll leave that with you. But Hutcho starting at 7, I think that's a genuine shootout for that spot there. The other thing that caught my eye was Jamin Salmon. Not a huge shock, but Jamin Salmon named in jersey 13. So I think it was pretty evident he was going to be a middle forward. I think this just about confirms it. Bronson Xerri, he's going to make his return on Thursday night. So congratulations to Bronson. He's done his crime, done his time. It's going to be great to see him back in the NRL. Some other guys that I think are worth keeping an eye on in this game. Jarrell Skelton, my boy, out on the sting. Very, very talented, hard to handle. You will see him. And jersey 21, a young fella, Joash Papali'i, who I think's got a big future in our game. A fullback who can play a vast array of positions. They're taking on the Melbourne Storm, and talking about handy fullbacks, they don't come much better than this. Ryan Papenhuyzen, the skipper of the Melbourne Storm in this one, returning. Can't tell you how fucking excited I am for this. Wish the Melbourne Storm were playing after my Supercoach draft day on Saturday, but you can't win them all. So I can't wait until we're all overreading into that performance from Ryan Papenhuyzen. Outside of that, not a heap to touch on with the Melbourne Storm. Trent Leary named at 13. We heard those rumours that he could be there. One thing I will say to you is keep an eye on Kane Bradley, jersey 11. I'm hearing he's had a very good preseason. He might actually earn a round one spot on the edge there. Keegan Russell-Smith, the 5'8", worth watching, kicked the winning goal from the sideline in the Penrith Panthers SG Ball victory 1 year ago, 2 years ago. Recently, it was. Made his way down to the Melbourne Storm. My guy to watch coming off the bench, jersey 16, Lazarus Valipu. Should have put that on silent. Lazarus coming off the bench for the Melbourne Storm. The last Lazarus we saw run out for the Melbourne Storm. Pretty handy player. Won more comps than he could count on one hand. Kat, what is next?
Well, if anyone's tuning in for the All-Stars team list, do you want to touch on that briefly?
You've come to the wrong place. We will cover that in another podcast. We're just going to focus on the NRL trials here.
Okay, amazing. So our next fixture is Saturday, 1:45 p.m. in Gosford. It is Knights versus Sharks.
I will point out as well, this is actually a double header. So there's 2 games at Gosford. So if you are keen to get out there, one of the great stadiums. Have you been to Gosford, Kat?
I've been to Gosford many a time.
Unreal stadium.
Unreal.
Palm trees. It's the best. You'll love it.
Yeah,
2
it's
games
quintessential Central Coast.
100%. It's unreal. Love it. We've got the Knights v the Sharkies, 1:45 p.m. We've got Jenkins, Tommy Jenkins coming from the Penrith Panthers, named on the sting for the Newcastle Knights. Tuala and Mapalangi named in the centres. These are the 3 guys that I think are fighting out for that right wing spot for the Newcastle Knights. You can probably chuck Will Price in there as well, but I think these 3 are the favourites. Tommy Jenkins would probably probably be my favourite at the moment. 7 and 6 will be Jacko and Gamble there, the boys from last year. Dylan Lucas has been named on the edge, which is exciting for all of our Supercoach players, but it should be noted, Kai Pearce-Paul not named, nor is Tyson Frizzell. Read into that what you will. Two guys that I want you to watch. Tom Cant, we mentioned him on the Bloke in a Bar podcast the other day. Back rower, goal kicker, very, very handy. But I'll tell you what, we just mentioned Ryan Papenhuyzen. You've got his clone running around at fullback. Fletcher Sharp, watched him play SG Ball last year. Very, very talented footballer. I wouldn't be surprised if he is the talking point coming out of this game. For the Sharkies, another fullback that's going to light it up. Dykes named at fullback, returning from injury. Lovely to see him back. Cannot wait to watch him. Iro at centre. It's getting hot and heavy over here, let me warn you. Very, very excited to see him finally play centre. Sivitalakai is on the bench, but Iro, I can't wait to see him get an opportunity. Teague Wilton named on the edge, returning from injury as well. My guy to watch, shock me, Kale Iro, and he will, once he gets into first grade, watch him absolutely shit into the hottest 100 on Roasty's list. You can take my word for it, Kat.
Oh, and I will take your word for that. Shall we jump into, you mentioned it's a double header. The next fixture after that one is Roosters versus Manly.
Yeah, 3:45. Gosford, Roosters, Manly. Roosters pretty much close to full strength. They've got Satilli on the edge. Everyone else sort of as you expected. There were things to note. On the extender bench, you've got Manu, Wong and Connor Watson. Three guys that I believe will be in their 17, so there is a bit of tinkering going on there. I think it's pretty evident. Satilli Tupanua, he's getting an opportunity to show what he can do in that back row spot. I reckon Wong will get the start in the next game. But Billy Smith and Suoli both named at centre. Manu coming off the bench. Trent Robinson might be throwing a centre jersey in the hey diddle diddle of these two and saying, let's see who comes out with it. For the Manly Seagulls, no Turbo, no Gerbo, but we're going to give you a Burbo on the edge once again. Scored 3 tries in about 40 minutes the other day. Gets another run. Nathan Brown playing his first game there in jersey 13. Interesting, Josh Schuster named on the bench. Not on the starting side. Coming back from chickenpox and whatnot is going on there. Very keen to see how they use Schuster. Carl Lord and at hooker for whatever fucking reason I can't work out. Humphreys and Gordon, Chan Kum Tong coming off the bench. I would have started one of them at 9. I'm sure they'll both get minutes. I'm not sure why we're playing Carl Lawton at 9, but I'm not Anthony Seibold, in no shock to anyone. What's next, Kat?
We have 5:55 Netstrata Jubilee Stadium, Para versus Raiders.
Should be noted, this is a double header. You got the next two games from Netstrata Jubilee, Para v Raiders, and then you got the Charity Shield straight after that. So some really good nights of footy coming your way on Saturday. If you're in Gosford or in the Illawarra region, make sure you get out to these games. Para v Raiders, standouts for me from the Parramatta side. Blaze Talangi named at fullback. Very, very excited about this kid. His name's Blaze. How can you not be fucking excited? Keen to see him get him run. I think he could be the fullback of the future for the Parramatta Eels. Morgan Harper at a new club playing centre. Good to see him there. And Ethan Sanders. It's funny how this works out in rugby league. Reportedly going to be the halfback that the Canberra Raiders are going to sign for next season, going up against them in this trial. Some guys to watch coming off the pine for Parramatta. You got Matthew Arthur, obviously coach's son, very handy 9. I personally think this is why they haven't gone out to replace Josh Hodgson. I think the plan is for Matty Arthur to get a gig in the next 18 months or so. And Charlie Geimer, back rower that came from SG Ball last year that I really like, coming off the bench there as well. For the Raiders, fullback, who gets first dibs? It's the great Chevy Stewart, coming down from the Cronulla Sharks a few years ago. I've spoken to you enough about this kid. Excited to see how Chevy goes. Xavier Savage. We caught up with some Canberra officials the other day. They were all absolutely raving about Savage. So hopefully he's turned a corner. Could lock down a wing spot. He's going to absolutely kill it if he's going well out there. KO Weeks at 5'8". Ethan Strange at 7. This says to me that 6 jersey's up for grabs. It could be Ethan Strange. It could be KO Weeks. With a big performance, I think Ethan Strange could grab it. I've always said to you guys, Brainerd in New South Wales 19's playing centre. I think he's a 5'8". So one to watch there. Mariota in jersey 13 as well. I think he's in for a breakout season. Guy to watch off the bench there is Asuma. Apologies if I pronounced that wrong. I probably have. Let's be honest here. But I know that he was Timmy Williams' guy to watch in this squad. Timmy Williams of Canberra Raiders fame. So keep an eye on him coming off the bench. Cannot wait to watch Chevy Stewart and Ethan Strange do their thing.
Okay, well, next up we have, you mentioned it's a double header. So we're still at Netstrata Jubilee. It's 8:05 and we have the Charity Shield. So it's Rabbitohs versus Dragons.
the greatest trial of all by far and away. The Rabbitohs, Cody out, so Dean Hawkins comes in to grab an opportunity to partner Lockie Ilias in the halves. Tass and Mamazelis, they're also getting a run in this side. As you would have seen the other day, a heap of South Sydney injuries have fallen over, unfortunately. Pretty tough gig. Munro out till round 4, so we won't see him. My player to watch, though, is Jai Gray. This is the young 5'8" from Queensland that I've been talking about quite a bit. I think he's got a huge future for the South Sydney Rabbitohs. I think when Cody Walker does eventually retire, I would not be surprised in the slightest to see him jump in there. Worth noting, no one's going to Vegas from South Sydney, apparently. Everyone's injured. So Richie Kennar in the centres, Tane Milne on the wing. Maybe this is the direction that JD will go for that game. Very keen to see Mamazella start as well. That is super exciting. Let's move to the St. George Illawarra Dragons. Their first game under coach Shane Flanagan, and he has shit me already. Tyrell Sloan at fullback. Lomax on the wing. Don't love this. Just want to see Lomax play fullback. If he's not going to play fullback, play him at centre. Let's not outthink the room here. Obviously, Jack Bird, he's going to play centre this year, and he's lining up there in this game. Kyle Flanagan gets the nod at 5'8", after the Ronald Volkman drama and everything. Flano named at 5'8" there. My guy to watch for you, there's two of them. You got Egan, who's coming off the bench. We know that Flano's been talking him up absolute galore the last few weeks. Viliami Fafita is my guy to watch off the bench, though. And that rounds out your Super Saturday games. It's my draft day on Saturday, so probably the biggest day of the year for me. Very, very excited. Take us to Sunday, Kat.
All right, Sunday, we're in New Zealand in Christchurch at 2 p.m. and we will see the Warriors take on the Tigers.
Footy back in Christchurch. More importantly, Roger Tua Vasa Shek returns. I am so fucking excited to watch how this all plays out. RTS, he has been named at centre. Charles Clockstad not playing in this game. The Wizard from Burleigh has been named Torpiki. RTS still at centre in this game. I believe he's going to play left centre, so keep an eye on that. I hope he roams. But I say that about a lot of centres that don't, so fingers crossed. You've got Ali, the young fella at centre, who made his debut against the Raiders and got injured. I reckon a big preseason from him. He could maybe snare a spot in this side. Little Smoky. CHT at 6. Lukey Metcalf at 7. But this is what's got me excited about this Warriors side. In the second row, you've got Laban, not sure how you pronounce it. Apologies, brother. Very good back rower. Keen to see him go around. You've got Going in jersey 13, another back rower that I cannot wait to watch. And, of course, Zion, who will come off the bench as well. So those are my three guys to watch coming off the bench there. They could all absolutely blow it away. I'm very confident Monday morning on Bloke, we're talking about at least one of them, potentially two of them. I'm not ruling out talking about all three of them, about how they've wowed us in this game. For the West Tigers, our boy, Fate Ape. We spoke about him as it could be anything from the Queensland Cup at the back end of last year, playing for the Brisbane Tigers. We said he needs to get a shot in a first-grade system. The West Tigers reached out, and he will play for them this week. So congratulations to him. Unreal fella. Very good footballer. Bud Sullivan at 6. Aiden Caesar at 7. Lockie Galvin coming off the bench. My player for you guys to watch is Navran Willett. He is jersey number 24. You won't miss him. I'll give you the hot tip. 6'7", big bit of gear. Can play anywhere in the back line. Keep an eye out for him. You'll be able to see the shadow, believe me. Next game, Kat, what do we got?
We're in Mackay for Cowboys versus Broncos. That is a 4 p.m. kickoff.
Queensland Derby out there in Mackay. How good for the Cows? They have not really named anyone, to be honest with you. Valia at centre, who's one of my CBAs. Very excited to see him go round. Valame and Derby on the wings. Interesting, Valame is actually... They've named so few people that I think it's interesting that Valame has been named. Maybe that means that Kyle Felt has got the head start. Derby, another absolute freak to keep an eye on. Duffy at 7, one of my little CBAs. And with the news that Luciano Leilua could be departing the North Queensland Cowboys, Finay Fuiaki starting on the edge in this game. Still without Helam Lukey, Nanai, all these fellas, but Finay Fuiaki is a big watch for me. Every chance I get to watch this kid, I absolutely love it. For the Broncos, Reece Walsh at fullback, may have heard of him. Mariner and Oates on the wing, Hoyter at centre. My boy from the Dragons, Jaden Hunt's been named on the edge. I hate it. I don't think he's an edge player. I think he's a middle. We'll see how that plays out. Back to Mariner and Oates, though. Obviously, a wing spot up for grabs there with what's his face, Selin Cobbo moving to centre. You would assume Jesse Arthurs, after almost winning a fucking Clive Churchill medal, would have one wing spot locked up. I'm thinking Oates, but with a big performance here, Mariner could impress. You've got Fletcher Baker coming up from the Chooks, coming off the bench. Blake Mozart coming off the bench. But I'll tell you what I think is the most telling thing by far and away in this team, Kat. The star out of the weekend for the Broncos, Xavier Willison. Every other forward has been named except him. I would say he did enough last week to earn a bench spot, barring an injury or something or a suspension. Now, I think about it, there might have been a crush tackle. Maybe I'm overthinking this. We'll see. But I think Xavier Willison will be there round 1. Last game of the week, Kat. What do we got?
We will see the weekend wrap up in a beautiful place known as the Sunshine Coast. The Dolphins will be taking on the Titans at 6:15 p.m.
A sunny February afternoon on the Sunshine Coast. A beer is going to go down terribly up there, I would imagine. For the Dolphins, Jack Bostock on the wing once again, testing you in the centres. We get our first look of Herbie Farnworth and Jermaine Osako on the right. One of the most exciting pairings in the league heading into this season. Rumours are that Herbie's going to play right centre. Don't love that for Osako. Herbie Farnworth does not tend to pass the ball, but we'll see how that plays out. Tommy Gilbert makes his return from injury as well in the lock forward role. Keen to see him go around. And Jake Avrillo on the extender bench. I think he has a breakout year under Wayne Bennett up there. Might not start round 1. Tessie New might have done enough last week. But Jake Avrillo, what a handy player to not fit into your team. Unreal stuff. For the Titans, they have also subscribed to the Cowboys approach of we don't give a fuck. Tony Francis on the wing. Really the only one on the starting side that I want to point out to you guys that I think is a sniff of playing first grade in the first few weeks. And Tommy Weaver coming off the bench, along with Canberra Raiders centre that's moved up there, Harley Sexy Shields. That is your first TLT. We'll be doing this live every Tuesday afternoon throughout the season. That was a lot to take in, and I probably missed 70% of it. So I hope you got something out of it. A couple of young guys to sit and watch. Kat, is there anything in particular that you're most excited about this weekend? Honestly, that I went through there?
No, I think you have absolutely smashed that for the first TLT. And I think everybody's just excited that TLT's back. So you've given them what they wanted, Guru.
I hope so. For me, the headline, Ryan Papenhuyzen. I cannot wait to see him back playing footy. Can't wait to see how he's moving. That'll come 2 days before my draft day as well. So a huge talking point there. We wish Pappy all the very best with his return. Hopefully he has a fantastic season. Thank you for tuning in once again, guys. We will have Beers and Break Evens tomorrow afternoon, 3 p.m. Tomorrow morning, we've got a little news segment that myself and Kat have done. We're going to do this once or twice a week, just talking about all the random shit that's going on in the NRL. We talk about the Super Bowl a little bit, some of the re-signings, Russell Crowe's video that he did the other day explaining NRL to the septic tanks over there. So plenty to talk about. Unreal little clip there. That'll be live tomorrow morning, then Beers and Break Evens, 3 p.m. Then I think on Thursday, got the Newcastle Knights Best 17. Could be anything hats dropping on bloke.shop, I think it's called, on Monday, 6 p.m. New South Wales time. If you're in Queensland with 2 heads, don't fuck up the time. You will miss it. They will move very, very quickly. CBA hats, we've got the red hat here, we've got the black hat, then you've got the black and red T-shirts as well. They are unreal. I think it's the best. I think it's genuinely probably the best podcast merch Rugby League has ever produced. So make sure you're there on time. They will move damn quickly, and you're not going to want to miss out on the CBA merch for 2024. Cheers, legends. We'll see you tomorrow on Beers and Break Evens.